What's up, guys? Doomwake here. Welcome back to yet another modern video on the channel. As always, before we continue, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of the video. Another big shout out to all of the support on the YouTube channel and the Twitch channel over the past month. It has been absolutely insane. The support has been crazy, so thank you all again for that. We're over 3,000 subscribers. Let's keep going, see if we can get to 4,000, so thank you. So where to begin? We have been playing a lot of Modern Horizons 2 cards over the past month or so, and everybody kind of forgot about, well, maybe not everybody, but personally, I forgot about the newest set, Dungeons & Dragons Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. Now, while I don't think there's a lot of modern power level cards in the set, I don't think there's a lot, I mean, obviously compared to Modern Horizons 2, which has just completely shaken up the format. I don't think there's as many hits in the D&D set. More so just kind of role players. One of the cards, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, which is the new mill card. I do want to play a little bit with that at some point, and I think we're going to do a video with that probably sometime during the week, so stay, be on the lookout for that. But one of the new cards in the set is kind of an innocuous one. And upon first read of the set, when I was going through the spoiler season and all that stuff, I didn't really think much of it. But I really do think that it allows you to build these affinity decks a lot differently than they have been over the past couple of weeks. And that card is Treasure Vault. Now, there's some words here, but there's only two words on the card that actually matter, and it's the type line, Artifact Land. And the other part that matters is the omission of enters the battlefield tapped. So Modern Horizons 2, let's see if I can pull it up here for you. Modern Horizons 2 brought along a lot of these new artifact lands. They're pretty powerful. They tap for any color, or not any color, but tap for 2 colors of mana, but they enter the battlefield tapped. Now, I remember when Modern Horizons 2 first came out, a lot of the early affinity list had anywhere between 4 to 8 copies of combined of these enter the battlefield tapped artifact lands to facilitate things like Myr Enforcer, Sojourner's Companion, the more expensive affinity cards. And I tried those builds on early, and I just could not for the life of me stomach playing lands that enter the battlefield tapped, because most of the time it's so bad when you're trying to curve out and your lands come into play tapped. I tried it a lot. I couldn't get it to work, and I kind of put it aside for a little bit. Now, again, Treasure Vault is an artifact land that enters the battlefield untapped, which means that you're still you're allowing yourself to curve out and hit your land drop, still being able to cast spells, activate Urza Saga. But it's just, I think it allows you to build these affinity decks in a different manner. Previously, before this version of the deck, I was advocating for maybe more expensive cards like Nettle Cyst, some more 1-mana cards, sometimes Vault Scourge, sometimes Arcbound Ravager, sometimes Steel Overseer. But I think now that you effectively have 8 copies of, we're going to call it 8 copies of Darksteel Citadel, because I can't imagine you're going to activate Treasure Vault that often. Maybe there's like corner case 1 in 100 games where it comes up. But we're essentially just playing it as enters the battlefield untapped, artifact land, taps for a colorless, which is effectively what Darksteel Citadel is. But I think with 8 copies of an artifact land, I think it allows you to play more copies of these 7-mana affinity for artifacts 4/4s that you weren't able to play previously, other than putting a bunch of ETB tap dual lands in your deck, which I'm not a huge fan of. So I'm really interested. This is kind of we brewed this a little bit up on the Twitch stream. I played a little bit with it, but I want to go ahead and do a YouTube video with it, because I think that there might be something here. Maybe this isn't the 100% correct build, and maybe there's a better way to go about doing it. But a lot of the affinity stuff that you've seen over the past couple of months is pretty much the same here. Frogmites, Cranial Plating, Springleaf Drum is one of the more important cards in the deck because we don't have access to Mox Opal anymore. A lot of your more powerful draws involve turn 1 Springleaf Drum plus a 0-mana creature, because that essentially acts as, an additional mana source. It's like a 1-mana mana rock. And it allows you to have some really explosive draws, really explosive turns. And again, we're basically maxing out on 0-mana cards. We're playing Mishra's Bauble, even though we don't have Emry or Luris anywhere in the deck, just because It's a 0 mana artifact that, turns on your affinity cards, all your 7 drops, so it's a free artifact that essentially is a Lotus Petal for those cards, but it also replaces itself. So it's, a 0 mana card that you can help get your affinity cards onto the battlefield, and then maybe a turn after that sacrifice to draw a card. So it's kind of free in that regard. And then a whole bunch of Welding Jars, which kind of obviously as a 0 mana artifact makes your affinity draws a little bit better, but also just as a way to protect construct tokens, 4/4s, cranial platings in post board games when your opponent has access to ancient grudges and things like that. So Welding Jars pretty good. And then we got a small little package, tutor package here for our Urza Saga. Again, I will never leave home without a Shadow Spear in any Urza Saga decks. That's always going to be in my main deck. We have 1 Aether Spellbomb and 1 Ginger Brute. I like Aether Spellbomb quite a bit because it's good against opposing Urza Sagas because you can bounce a construct to kind of, remove one of them from play. And I like Ginger Brute as a haste. It's a haste creature that you can get off of Urza Saga. So, like, let's say, for example, you activate Urza Saga end step, your opponent has a fatal push for your first construct token, and you have a cranial plating lying around, and you're like, okay, well, my opponent's tapped out. I want to get a huge burst of damage in. You can just get a Ginger Brute, you float a mana, get a Ginger Brute, equip the cranial plating, and you get a bunch of burst damage. And it also has pseudo evasion in the sense that it's harder to block because it can only be blocked by creatures with haste, which there aren't that many of. So it turns your Urza Saga, if you have a plating into play, into like a really good amount of burst damage, which is pretty important. Mana base, again, nothing too fancy here. The 4 Citadels, 4 Treasure Vaults, the full complement of 8 artifact lands to facilitate all of our affinity cards. And then we have 6 colored sources to make sure we can cast Thought Monitor, and then our sideboard blue and red cards on time. And then obviously 4 Urza Sagas. I've already talked enough about Urza Saga. Play Urza Saga, and you'll win some matches. And then, yeah, these are the affinity cards. I guess I'll go over those a little bit. Sojourner's Companion, Myr Enforcer, largely the same card. 0 mana 4/4 if you have 7 artifacts in play. Frogmite, again, kind of unassuming, but it just allows you to kind of this deck is really about going super wide, and that's why even though it's only a 2/2, when it's a 0 mana 2/2, especially on turn 1, that damage can add up quickly, and it allows you to get your Myr Enforcers online a lot quicker. Sideboard's pretty clean, actually. I like the way the sideboard looks. We have 4 Metallic Rebuke and 4 Galvanic Blast. As you can imagine, Rebuke good against combo and control, Galvanic Blast good against creature decks. Etch Champion really good against the fair mid-range decks like red-black, red-blue, Jund, things like that. They just have a really hard time removing this from the battlefield. Slap a cranial plating on that, and you just go to town. You have 1 Gyruper Aether Grid. I never ever want to draw the second copy, but there are a lot of matchups where the first copy is good. I have considered playing 2 just because there are so many spots where the first copy is just game winning that it might be worth playing 2, but the second one is really bad, so I'm only sticking with 1 for now. But it comes in against, decks that have Stony Silence, decks that have a lot of 1 toughness creatures like tribal elves and things of that nature. And then we have some additional tutor targets for Urza Saga when we want those, Tormod's Crypt and Grafdigger's Cage for the graveyard decks, and then Needle for mostly Asmo, because I think that this deck probably struggles against food, but also can come in against Planeswalkers, and, there are some Heliod if people are still playing that, some different spots where those might come up. But that is pretty much all I wanted to go over with the deck. So let's, without further ado, let's get into some games, shall we? We'll see you back in just a little bit for round number 1. Alrighty, everybody, we're here for round number 1. Let's see if we can make Affinity happen. What do we have? We have Ornithopter, Jar. So 7 drops and an Urza Saga. Turn 1, Urza Saga is not the ideal land you want on turn 1 in this deck. And we have no colored mana, we only have 1 land. I think this hand's a mulligan. Okay. This hand's not too bad. I'm going to keep this, put back the second Treasure Vault. We'll go Treasure Vault, Springleaf Drum, Memnite, Frogmite, and then start doing some Urza Saga stuff. I could have played Saga on turn 1, but if I play Saga, Drum, Memnite on 1, I can't play Frogmite, and if they kill the Memnite, I then won't be able to activate the Saga. So I think it's a little too risky to take that line. Chalice on 0 basic island. I don't know what that means. Merfolk. Merfolk traditionally a good matchup for Affinity. So we have 4 artifacts, play Saga, play a 4/4. They have another Tide Shaper, they can kick it and kill the Saga, but we have another Saga, and we have just 7 power, so I think we're okay with that. I kind of assume if they're playing Shaper on 1, they probably have a second one? No. Okay. Should be good then. Alright, I'm going to play Spire. And I think I'll offer the trade of Frogmite. I can't imagine they're going to take the trade. Maybe they do, but I think the trade's fine for me. Make a Saga token. Should be good to go. Probably get the Shadow Spear. I see they have Trickster. So Merfolk Trickster, the way that it interacts with Urza Saga is it kills the token. But, I mean, if I wait to make a token, they're just going to kill it anyway, so I might as well just force them to use the mana now. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Because it becomes a 0/0 with no abilities, in which case it just dies. But I don't really care because I can just make another one and equip. I can even equip the Shadow Spear on the companion this turn, so I think we are doing okay. Alright, make a Baneslayer Angel. And by that I mean Baneslayer Salamander. And I don't really think they can beat this setup. Not game 1, at least. Game 2, they maybe have access to Hercule's Recall and some other stuff, but game 1, I don't really think they have any recourse here. Alright, we'll make some more artifacts. Oh yeah, right, Chalice. Duh. It's fine. So let's go make a construct first. Let's go equip here. 9/9 lifelink trample. What say you, opponent? They can trade for the companion, and then they have to probably double block the construct. I guess they can chump block it. But they pretty much lose their entire board, and we still have a construct, plus another construct off of the Saga turn the turn after, and yeah, it's too much. Alright, so they're going to trade off their whole board. It's fine. 3/3/3. Yeah, sure, that works. Alright, it's all dead. I'm at 32, they're at 9. Your turn. Yeah, Urza Saga is kind of rough for them game 1. Lord of Atlantis, probably not going to do it. They're sticking it out, though. They are sticking it out. Yeah, I'm just going to either Spell Bomb. It doesn't really matter that much. Attack you with a 10/10 lifelink trample. So they have to double block to not be dead on board. Never mind. So that gets bounced, and they take 9. Alright, game 2. So the sideboard card of choice for Merfolk in this matchup is usually Hercule's Recall. So that's something to be cognizant of. That being said, I don't really think I want Metallic Rebuke. Even though it is good against Recall, it's really bad against everything else. They're a Cavern Vial deck, so bringing in counterspells against Cavern Vial is kind of a risky proposition. Needle's not the worst against Mutavault and Aether Vial, so that is something worth considering. Grid is also a consideration, however, a lot of their creatures are 2 toughness, so you need a lot of material in play for Grid to be able to kill something, so I'm not a huge fan of it. Aether Spellbomb, I'm not huge on. I don't hate Gingerbrute because their creatures get big and you can sometimes get into board stalls where maybe you need a hasty evasive attacker. Welding Jar pretty bad against them. I don't mind keeping one in, but in general, I think it doesn't offer you that much. And then usually I just trim some number of like a Myr Enforcer and a Frogmite, like two of these three. I think in general I probably would rather keep the Frogmite around because at face value it can sometimes trade for a Lord. So, but it's just you don't want to get loaded up on 7 drops because you kind of have to be a little bit aggressive in this matchup. All right, game number 2. What do we got? We have, see, this is the issue. A bunch of 7 drops. I think maybe this might not be the best way to go about building Affinity, but I do think Affinity is quite good. Maybe just not this exact version. This hand sucks. This hand's missing colored mana, but we do have Thopter, Citadel, Frogmite on one. And then if we draw colored mana, we can maybe get a Thought Monitor into play. I'm going to keep this and put back Companion. Mechanical Sanctum, Kumena's Speaker. Okay. I accept. There's colored mana, which is good. Alright, turn 1, Frogmite. Feels like we're taking a trip back to 2004, I think, was when Mirrodin came out. I think it was 04. Alright, Master, we'll take 3, that's fine. So we currently have 4 artifacts in play. I know it's a little bit risky to play Saga if they have Tideshaper, but if I play Glimmer Void, I can't do anything with my turn anyways, because this costs 3 mana, so I'm just going to play Saga. Works out pretty well if they don't have Tideshaper. Sometimes they have Seas, too. I should have probably attacked, but not attacking is good if they have Tideshaper, because it means they're not playing a Lord, in which case then I actually get to block this. So... And if they're playing a Lord, they're not interacting with Saga, which is also fine for me. Just, I think in general that was a decent line. Now the question is, do I even want to make a construct, or I just want to play Thought Monitor? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I'm just going to make a construct. Can also set up a double block on a Lord with 2 Frogmites, even if they have the Trickster to kill the construct. You can like chump block the Speaker, double block the Master, because they'll be tapped out. So they're kind of in a weird spot where if they shove, like if they have Trickster and they shove, they kill the construct, but then I just double block here, chump here, go to 7, they lose a Lord, and it's like not that great for them, because I'm just going to get another construct next turn anyways. Yeah, see, they have the Trickster, but I don't even know that that's that good, because I just have a really good double block here. I am going to chump to not go to 3. I'm at 7. Through a Sojourner's Companion. So I have 3 artifacts right now. Construct would be 4. Drum is 5. And then I can go tap Spire, tap Drum, tap Thopter, play Monitor, and then if I draw a 0-mana artifact, I can also play the Companion. Yeah, that looks good. So make a construct, get a Drum. Play this, tap this, play Monitor. And hopefully draw a 0. There we go. Alright, now we are chillin'. Now obviously this gets dicey if they just have a way to give me an island, but they have Kumena's Speaker on top. That is not a way to give me an island. Yeah, we're actually dead if they have like a Spreading Seas. Well, no, because they can't attack with the Master, so it's only 6. So we go to 1. But I kind of assume if they had Tide Shaper, they definitely would have played it on turn 2 instead of the Master. Alright, add up reveal speaker. Yeah. So we're still kind of in a dicey spot if they eventually find a way to give me an island. But we have a little bit of time until then. Hopefully we draw a Galvanic Blast. I mean, obviously Shadow Spirit being insane, that's the best draw, but it's only a 1 of. Can I get busy? Maybe. Alright, Ginger Brute. Let's see. So I can hold up Ginger Brute, sack to gain 3, but I only go to 10. And... well, I guess that would prevent me from dying, right? If a Spreading Seas a land, they only have 9 Island Walk. So if I hold up Gingerbread, I can go to 10 and still not even die to it. So the question is, what am I attacking with? Because I need to try and get this game over with. So if my plan is to leave back the Ginger Brute, I think I'm going to send the Construct, the Monitor, and the Companion, which is a 15-point attack. They don't have to block, they can just go to 5. Like, I was thinking I could maybe animate the Ginger Brute, not animate, but activate it, and then represent 16 damage, which kind of puts them in the spot where if they go to 4, they die to Gal Blast. So the extra point on Ginger Brute might get them to make a block, but I think they're probably in a horrendous spot if I have Gal Blast anyways, because I just kill this. So I don't really think they can afford to play around Galvanic Blast, so I'm pretty sure they would just go to 4. Because I don't think they can beat Galvanic Blast anyways. Alright. Opponent has returned. I will attack. Alright, they have declared no blocks. Cool. Go to 5. Alright, opponent's at 5. It's their turn. What do they got? What do you got, Milk Dud? Milk Duds are pretty good. I will say that. I'm a big Milk Dud fan. So we're not even dead to giving us an island, because I can gain 3 off the Ginger Brute, go to 10, take 9, go to 1. And then they would obviously be dead on the crackback at that point, so... kind of an awkward spot for them, unless they have Hercule's Recall, which, I mean, I can't beat that anyway, so... Lord of Atlantis. Alright, Lord of Atlantis resolves. I accept. So, 2 blockers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're just dead on board. Am I missing something? Block here. Sack Ginger Brute, go to 10, take 8, go to 1. 2 blockers. Block here. Block here. I guess it's just better to do this. Block sack. I mean, it's safer. The Ornithopter doesn't do anything, right? It's safer to do it this way. Alright, gain 3 life. Take 4. Untap. Attack you. Huzzah. Didn't need the plating, but had the plating as well. Just go to attacks. It's actually perfect because, I don't know, they might have something weird like Force of Vigor. And now if they go block here, block here... oh, I guess they go block, block, force these 2, go to 1. Sure, but... alright, never mind. They didn't have Force. I can't imagine they have enough green cards in their deck for Force of Vigor, but They tanked for a while, seeming like they had something, but I guess they were just doing something else. But yeah, generally, Merfolk, pretty good matchup for Affinity, so even if our deck might not be built 100% correctly with all these 7 drops, did not matter. So hope you enjoy the games. I'll see you back in just a little bit for round number 2. Alrighty, everybody, we're back here for round number 2. We got a little, I don't know if you can see this over here. We got 2 of us rolled a 5, 2 of us rolled a 4. I've never seen that before. Anyways, round 2, fight! What we got? Got a Ginger Brute, a Welding Jar, a Vault, a Saga. I mean, again, my general philosophy is I keep almost any hand with Urza Saga, so I will abide by that. Because Urza Saga is generally worth a lot of cards. Got the Ginger Man. The Ginger Brute. It's an aggressive gingerbread man. It's really hungry. Just wants some food. Alright, what do you got, opponent? Scalding Tarn. Is this the blue-red Murktide deck, maybe? Alright. Players of Saga. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not quite there on Myr Enforcer, unfortunately, but, you know. We got a Saga, so we're chilling. Ketria Triome. This could be Rhinos. Doesn't look like is it Murktide? I don't know if Rhinos are generally a good matchup or not. We'll attack for 1. Unfortunately, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can main phase make a Saga token, but we still can't cast the Myr Enforcer, so. Stomperino. Sure. I could save the Ginger Brood, but I will elect not to. So this looks like Rhinos? Yeah. Definitely Rhinos. Wait, what just happened? Did they choose not to cast it? That's awkward. That is awkward. I mean, I still think we're beating Rhinos pretty easily this game, but obviously that is awkward. Alright, let's go. I think I'm just gonna make a construct, get the Shadow Spear, and just choose not to play the Thought Monitor this turn, because I really, really want the Shadow Spear in play. But I also just want to like, I don't want to get Springleaf Drum, because if I get Springleaf Drum, I'm not getting Shadow Spear. Even though it would allow me to play Thought Monitor this turn, I just think that the Shadow Spear is just going to end the game. So, I guess it's more important to get the Spear. Steam Vents untapped. Alright. It's like a double Brazen Borrower, maybe? Alright. How about a Thought Monitor? I guess they could have Cryptic, but... Play a Frogmite. Play a Drum. And I guess I'll just equip the Myr Enforcer. So I'm worried about them having double Borrower. Sure. I think it's better to equip the Myr Enforcer. Play around double Borrower. So that's like their only out. I assume that's why they shocked. So they can Borrower both constructs. I guess they could just have Cryptic, but... what is this? This is tap, bounce a construct. Huh. Interesting. I wonder why they wouldn't counter the Monitor and tap my team. I feel like that's better? Not sure. Because I assume when they let the Monitor resolve, they didn't have Cryptic. Alright. It's Tarn. And some Rhinos. Yeah, I mean, Rhinos just don't really match up to what this board state is. I guess they could also have a Borrower. And maybe if they have a Borrower, they're in this game. Yeah, probably not now. Just trying to think of where I want to put the Shadow Spear if they have Borrower. Honestly, I think I'm just going to put it on the Thought Monitor. Yeah. Because this puts them to 3. And if they have Stomp, they have to Stomp in response to the equip, which gives me full information. Like, I know they can chump block the Construct, but I don't know. I think this is just a lot better if they have double Borrower, and I don't really see myself losing this game otherwise. But maybe I'm wrong. I could definitely be wrong about that. This is a much safer line, I will say. Much safer line. Alright, they're off it. Rhinos, huh? So what sideboard cards does Rhinos typically have? Foundation Breaker, sometimes Force of Vigor. That's usually about it. I don't really think I want Rebuke that much, although it is good against their more expensive cards like Cryptic Command and things of that nature. I definitely don't want Galvanic Blast. Galvanic Blast trading for 1/2 of a Rhino is not really where I want to be. Cage Crypt, Needle, all bad. Champion doesn't match up well against 4/4s. Grid, bad. So it's really just Rebuke, and I guess I'll bring in some Rebukes. Myr Enforcer probably not great against Rhinos, right? It's just like, I'm doing all this work to cast a 4/4. Even though it doesn't cost any mana, it still just trades for 1/2 of one of their cards. So maybe I'll cut an Enforcer, a Frogmite, a Memnite. I'm going to keep all the jars because I think they have a bunch of Foundation Breakers. And maybe cut the Gingerbrute and bring in 4 Rebukes. Yeah, see how that goes. See how this goes. Saga Citadel, Spire. Monitor Bauble Plating, huh? I don't think this is a hand that I really want to keep in this matchup. Just kind of slow. Doesn't really do anything. Yeah, I'm looking at this. Okay. This hand does some things. Not great things. I'm going to keep 1 Memnite, 1 Ornithopter, because keeping the Ornithopter is better if I find plating. And there's not much difference between, 1/1s can't really attack into most of their boards anyways. Alright, turn 1, Froggy. Turn 2, we can play a 4/4. And look embarrassed when they play their 3-mana card that makes 2 4/4s. Alright, land, 4/4. Unfortunately, can't play the Thought Monitor this turn, but it's okay. Subtlety. I guess I'll bottom that. I really want to draw it. Especially if they're casting Rhinos next turn. I need something more impactful. I need like a Saga or a Plating, something like that. Because, like, imagine I top that and they just play a Shardless Agent and make a 2/2 and 2 4/4s, and I draw a 4/4. It's like, it's not really a battle I'm winning. Okay, alright, I can live with this. So now I can go plating into Monitor, which is not bad, and might allow me to race some Rhinos. See if they have another Subtlety. Alright, is there any reason to play the Thopter this turn? Not really. I'll just pass. No attacks. They're clearly representing Violent Outburst here, so I will elect to not attack. Oh, they're casting a spell. I think they want to wait until I go to attacks. Oh, alright. Well, I get a free attack then. I'll take that. Honestly, even if they didn't have the Outburst, I think it's better for them to just let me go to attacks, because then they just take no damage. I'm not attacking there. Like, I will never attack into Violent Outburst there. I mean, they don't necessarily know that, but they could probably assume that I'm not going to attack there. Okay. Let's go cast a 4/4. They notably cannot cast Cryptic Command here. They can hard cast Force of Vigor, which is pretty bad for me. Let's go equip the Ornithopter, I think. And then let's go to attacks. Play my Citadel. I'm not going to play the Ornithopter to try and bluff a counterspell. And I will attack for 11. Like, if they don't have a removal spell, I don't think there's much difference between 11 and 12. Because that's the one extra damage from Ornithopter, but... yeah, looks like they had Force. Unfortunate. So maybe missed 3 damage there if I had attacked and they, you know what I mean? Maybe that was a turn that I should have attacked. Because it was a turn that, like, if they cast Violent Outburst and not Force of Vigor, even if they eat these two, they still take 1,000 damage and they're still probably dead. Whereas, like, now I'm in a spot where if I attack with everything and they actually have the Outburst, yeah, I mean, I probably should have just made this attack last turn. Would have been so much better for me. Yeah, I messed up. I don't think I was winning this game anyways, but like I missed out on 3 damage last turn. Not like the 3 damage is going to matter too much, I don't think. Alright, go. Still drop plating, maybe? Alright, go to 12. Go to 12. Now what? Urza's Saga. It's not bad. It's a little late to the party, but... they're on the... Alright. So we go to 4. And then I probably have the chump block next turn. Well, they just play a Bone Crusher, right? I don't think I have any outs. Don't think I have any outs. Is plating lethal? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope, not quite. Nice. Alright. Man, I guess I'm not technically dead. So I can make a Saga token, chump block a Bone Crusher, eat a Rhino, chump block a Rhino, go to 2. I mean, if they hardcast a Force of Vigor, and I get to Metallic Rebuke it, maybe I can actually win this game. Although I'm just dead to Stomp, which I can't rebuke because they have 2 mana and then 3 mana to pay for it. Could also just have Brazen Borrower. Alright, yeah, we're dead. So yeah, I missed 3 damage that one turn because I definitely should have attacked with everything the turn they were representing Force of Vigor, but I don't think it would have mattered in the long run. So we got game 3. We're on the play. We'll figure it out. I think this matchup is pretty good. I mean, obviously they have Force of Vigor, but... okay, so this is Citadel Drum, turn 2 Saga. Sand's kind of slow, but I'm going to try it. Sand's really bad against Force of Vigor. But, I mean, do we even have a hand that's good against Force of Vigor? Like, I don't think that exists. I think that's just what our deck is. They went to 5. Okay. 5 it is. I got a drum. What do you got? You got a Misty. To say suspend rhinos? No. Catch your Trio. Alright. Saga go. I do not plan on cycling Sojourner's Companion because I got plenty of lands. Imagine if Urza Saga was an artifact land and you could search for it. Whew. Whew. Let's play... Well, I think we can safely say they don't have Force, because they probably would have forced these two before Chapter 2. So I'm just going to play Vault. Just gets more artifacts into play. I mean, if they had Force and just chose not to force the Saga, that's kind of insane to me. So I'm not going to put them on Force. Alright, untap. Ooh, that's a really good draw. That is an excellent draw. So they might be bouncing a Construct here, which is fine. Huh, we're timing on that. I mean, if you're going to do it, probably would have just done it end step, right? I mean, I know I can't cast the Rebuke now, but I don't think it matters too much. So I got 2 5/5s. I kind of want to just get a Welding Jar, but I could also get Shadow Spear. I guess I don't really need a Welding Jar because I'm going to be playing 2 more 4/4s this turn and holding up Rebuke. So I'll just get the Shadow Spear. I'm going to play my land first just to make sure I can always have Rebuke up. I know it sucks if I draw Saga now, but... Alright. This game should be pretty easy from here. So now I just attack for 9 and hold up Rebuke. You can even go Plating plus Shadow Spear next turn. Yeah. Alright, they go to 10. I guess hypothetically they could go Evoke Foundation Breaker, target the drum to make me not have Rebuke up, and then upkeep Pitch Force of Vigor, killing the 2 constructs, but then I still just have a Plating and a Shadow Spear, so like that's not even good enough. Also, if they upkeep it, then I could just pay. Then I just have mana for the Rebuke, so yeah, that's not even good enough. I don't think there's a way out. Petty Theft. Do I even care about that? I don't think I do. I think I only really care about Force of Vigor. Alright, Citadel. Oops, I meant to cast the Plating first, but... Plating. I will tap Treasure Vault. Quit Plating to Thought Monitor. Alright, they're dead. Yeah, I think this is just a matchup that kind of revolves around play draw, and you saw that kind of play out in the 3 games. You know, my opponent won the game they were on the play. We won the 2 games we were on the play. So not a ton of back and forth, mostly just 2 ships passing in the night. I mean, it gets different post-board. They have Force, we have Rebuke, but in any case, hope you enjoyed the games. We're 2-0. I'll see you back in just a little bit for round number 3. Alrighty, you two, back here for round number 3. We're 2-0. Let's keep it going, shall we? What do we have here? Bauble, Memnite, Jar, Doctor, Frogmite. It's just my entire hand on turn 1. Cycle of Bauble. Alright, let's go. Sure. My entire hand on turn 1. Why not? Bauble. Oh, is this a Force of Negation? Oh, maybe not. Alright. Attack for 1. It's my whole hand. My whole hand and 4 power. Bone Crusher. Okay. This may or may not be good for us, depending on what type of Bone Crusher deck they are. It looks like Rhinos. So Rhinos deck's been picking up in popularity. Deck we just played against. I mean, a pair of 4/4s just kind of embarrasses our board, so we kind of need something else here. I wonder if they have a Rhinos that they're thinking about suspending. Can't imagine why you wouldn't suspend it. I got a Drum. And a redraw. Alright, cool. Attack you for 4. That's all I got. So they go to 15. They fetch to 14. Alright. Your turn. So we know about Bone Crusher. If they Bone Crusher the Frogmite, just given that I don't really have any pressure, I probably have to just Welding Jar it. I don't really want to, but I got a Borrower. It's good to know about. Alright, so they have Passing with Bone Crusher and Brazen Borrower. It's a powerful 2 cards to have. Okay, Saga helps a lot. Saga was a very, very good draw. Because that's going to be able to get some constructs to maybe get past rhinos. I'm trying to think if I even want to Welding Jar this. I don't think I do, right? Because they're just going to play rhinos, and what is my 2/2 doing next turn against rhinos? The only consideration is it sets me up with a good like double or triple block after they borrow my first construct token, because that is what they are going to be able to do. Still think I'm just going to let it happen though. So they go to 12. Memnite, Memnite, and a Sagarino. Maybe they don't have a third land? They do. Alright, so Shardless Agent. Oh, I like this. This is good for me. No Rhinos is very, very good for me. I mean, I can't attack. I could activate Ginger Brew, but then I can't make a construct. I gotta at least force the first borrower out. I guess they could just have a second borrower. Makes this kind of awkward. Like, we have the first borrower covered because we have 2 constructs, but... Alright, they chose not to attack. Makes sense. Because they realize they have to cast Borrower this turn. Alright, so they're going to fetch in response. I don't know why they're fetching in response. Untapped Breeding Pool. So Cryptic. Okay. Another Saga, not bad. Let's tap Memnite and this, make a construct. And then we will search for a thing. Could be Aether Spellbomb, could be Shadow Spear, could be Bauble, just a redraw. So let's assume they have Cryptic. They're going to bounce the construct, draw a card, untap, borrow the other construct. And then in that scenario, it might just be better to get a redraw off Bauble to try and find a plating. So let's do that. And let's go to attacks. See what they do. I imagine they're going to let me attack and then just bounce the construct. But they shocked, so they almost certainly have Cryptic. No. Maybe just double Barber then? Alright. I guess it looks like it's just double Borrower. Second Saga's good against that then. So why else would they shock? It's gotta be another Borrower. Maybe a Bone Crusher? Why would they shock for that though? Just not cast it. It doesn't really do anything. Fire those 2. Those 2 have been fired. Do I want to make my construct a 6/6? With the jar, I think it's fine. There's some consideration to make it so I can't get like block plus stomped, but I can also just make another construct next turn, so it should be fine. And I have Webbing Jar anyways. It's like the only way this is realistically dying is if they bounce it. They have a Cryptic on top, which deals with the other construct. Also have Jace. So they're going to bounce the construct. Yeah, this is dicey. They have a lot of ways to bounce. Oh, well, that's pretty good. They have Force? Awkward. Force Pitch Cryptic. Okay. Wow, their draw was really good. Can't attack the Jace because they just block here. Jace takes 1. I also don't get to make a construct this turn, so that's about worst case scenario. And they get to Brainstorm. Hopefully they just tap out for some Rhinos. I'm surprised at how many ways they have to bounce Saga tokens. These Rhino decks usually don't have that many ways to interact, but they have Jace, they have Borrower, they have Cryptic. It's a lot, I feel like. Thought Monitor. Now what? I could make a construct, get a Springleaf Drum, and then use the Springleaf Drum to play with the Thought Monitor. Because, like, I guess I could just float mana and try and jam the plating, but that's just not good enough. So let's do it like this. Let's make a construct, get drum, play monitor. If they want to counter this, that's fine. Honestly, I'd rather have them counter this than this, so. Alright, looks like they have Cryptic. Subtlety. And we'll definitely top it. Your turn. Topping it also kind of incentivizes them to plus with Jace. No, they bounce the construct. Sure. So maybe they have another counter spell. Alright, I'll take 4 off the giant, that's fine. Don't really care about that. Just gonna slam the monitor. I guess I should do it like this. If they want to counter it, that's fine. Because I have another plating. I have another subtlety. Top. Go. This is a frustrating game. They've had a lot of interaction for a deck that doesn't usually have a lot of interaction. Just surprised. We're still in this game, I think. It's starting to slip away, but also going to be a lot of editing. Alright, they are choosing to brainstorm. Acceptable. Maybe I just don't respect these Rhinos decks enough, because I usually just beat the crap out of them with Asmodex, but 10 damage. No blocks. So they have Cryptic. I mean, I can't beat Cryptic anyways, right? Like, realistically, how am I beating another Cryptic? Wait, did they pitch the Cryptic I didn't know about? I thought it was a Modern Masters one. I don't recall. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? They just pitched it. They just pitched what I didn't know about. Okay, anyways, we were dead regardless. Did not matter. Probably should have pitched the one that I knew about, but here we are. Okay, anyways, going to sideboard for game 2. What did we do last time? I think we cut an Enforcer. No, I think I cut 2 Enforcers. No, I wanted to keep all the jars, a Memnite and a Frogmite, and I brought in 4 Rebukes, which I liked. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, we're back here for game number 2. We are down a game to Zerinos. Sand's not great, but we do have Saga, so I'm going to keep it. Opponent drew a lot of interaction game 1. Again, their deck does not usually have that much. I think that's the first time I've ever seen that deck win a game without casting turn 3 Cascade Spell, which is surprising. So they're usually just all in, you know? Alright, Brute. Question is, yeah, we'll just play this. Attack. I'm gonna say if I can hold up Rebuke, but I have to tap the Gingerbrew to make blue, which means I can't hold up Rebuke. Ideally, they go for Force of Vigor this turn, so I can Rebuke it, but they may or may not do that. Alright, I will attack for 1 and make a Saga token. And I think if they cast Shardless Agent now, I'm just not going to fight over it. I don't think I need to. It's the Foundation Breaker. So they blow up the Saga. But that's fine because I have another Saga and I just get a Construct out of it. I think this is okay. Alright, make a thing. Make a thing. Saga down. Yeah, because I just have another Saga anyways, so I think this is okay. And this is coming off in 2 turns. Should be beatable. So by that time, we'll go Chapter 3 on the second Saga. Maybe it gets dicey if they have another Breaker, but... So that's 5 artifacts. This is 6. And 7. I can attack for 8 and hold up Rebuke, right? Blue, this, yep. Alright, half your life total. Let's say you, opponent. What you got? Steam Vents tapped. Take 8, go to 7. They may or may not try to cast some Rhinos here. I guess now I'll probably fight over Rhinos because I just have such an overwhelming board presence. Although, if they have Cascade Spell plus Force of Vigor, it's bad. I mean, they definitely didn't have Force last turn, so they would have had the drawn Force. There's a chance they would cast Breaker over a Cascade Spell, but I also kind of doubt that. I feel like if they had a Cascade Spell, they just would have cast it last turn. Okay. Alright, well, I'm going to hope they didn't draw Force of Vigor, and I'm just going to go for the Rebuke, because it is lethal. Make sure I'm countering the right card. Cancel. Blue, this. There's no way they brought in Dispute, right? It'd be so weird to bring in Dispute in this matchup. Alright, game 3. Game numero 3. I don't know where I was going with that. Do I want to change any sideboarding? I still think S Champion as a 2-2 just doesn't line up that well against Rhinos. So you need plating to make it good, and if you have an unchecked plating, you're probably winning anyways. I don't know. Maybe that's a bad way to look at it, but I'm just going to do this. Alright, game number 3 against the Rhinos. 20 mulligans to 6. So this hand goes Treasure Vault, Drum. Turn 2, Brute, Drum. This hand's got some upside, and we have a counterspell. I'm going to try it. I think this is on the low end of keeps because it doesn't have a Saga, but... Well, didn't have a Saga. Now it does. Stomping Ground tapped. Alright, Ornithopter is not bad. What is the best way to sequence this? So let's go... I want to try and keep up Metallic Rebuke as much as possible. So let's go Ornithopter. Oh, it seems like they're F6'd. This makes things a little bit easier. Ginger Brute, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess I could just hold up Rebuke. Just not play anything else. It's probably fine, right? Yeah. Because I could play the Shadow Spear or the Companion, but then I can't hold up Rebuke that way. So I think this is good. Fury Pitch Outburst. Okay, well this sucks. Because they can also cast a Cascade spell this turn. No, they played Fury. I mean, I guess I can Rebuke it to make it so they can't play a Cascade spell this turn, but is that even good? Yeah, I think it is. Like, it feels really bad to do this, but... This makes it so they can't play Rhinos this turn, because if they do this, if they kill my board and play Rhinos, I'm just a mile behind, so... I mean, they pitched an Outburst, so they obviously have another Cascade spell. Alright, land please. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I got super punished for not playing the Companion. I don't think I would ever play around this card out of their deck. I've never seen it before out of the Rhinos deck. Did they have enough red cards to support this? Just like Bone Crusher Outburst and that's it? I think that can't be enough. It's kind of weird. Yeah, we're gonna get dumpstered this game, but unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. So I can get Aether Spellbomb to kill a Rhino, and then play some Companions. It's better to get Bobble and Cycle. I mean, I can just cycle with the Spellbomb if I absolutely need to, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cast. Do this. Equip here. Pass. And I can hold up Welding Jar plus bounce off of the Springleaf Drum. Ah, man. This would have been so much better if I had just not held up Rebuke that turn. Because at that point, if they Fury and Rhino, I just don't really care that much because I still have the Saga token, and I guarantee get to keep a creature in play. And that's all that really mattered. But it just ended up working out so poorly for me. Untap. Man. So I can attack with this. They triple block. And then I just say, okay, trade's good. And then equip the companion with the next one. And then their next double block is awkward because then I can just bounce another Rhino. Yeah, sure. Guess that is okay. Oh. Am I missing something? Oh, you know what they probably have? They probably have another outburst to pump this power. Yeah, that makes sense. But then I can just jar this and it's okay. So then I'm trading a spell bomb and a jar for 2 rhinos, which isn't that bad. Petty Theft, the Shadow Spear. Sure. Resolves. Bounce the rhino. Jar my 4/4. Damage. Play Spear. Play Frogmite. Proceed. Well, I mean, if they're out of rhinos, this actually isn't really that bad, all things considered. And I feel like if they had Outburst, they 100% would have just cast Outburst last turn. Right? Because then it would have just they would have just traded. That's an interesting draw. I guess I'll do that instead of... Is that better than Shadow Spearing? I think it is. I guess they could have a counterspell, which maybe makes this a little bit worse. But if they have a counterspell, they're tapping mana and not doing Rhino things. So I can just do this. And then get a big attack in with this thing. They're just going to chump block it, but... This is also a lot better if they have Rhinos, because then I'm not shoving 2 4/4s into an outburst. They have ice. Okay, it's fine. And Bone Crusher the Frogmite. Okay, sure. So now I can just Shadow Spear up the big companion next turn. Maybe go to town. They only have 2 cards. This has been a really interesting game. Alright, they got more rhinos. So I guess they can double block the companion after I put the Shadow Spear on it. Then I still have another 4/4. So this seems okay. Ooh, that's a good draw. Let's cast that. That was a really good draw. Alright, let's go Vault. Whip here. Play the Frogmite. And then Slam for 15. Worst case scenario, they have Brazen Borrower for plating as their last card, and then we just trade for 1 Rhino because they would just double block in that case, but... Looks like they don't have that. Alright, so they take 1,000 damage. Now I can just... I'm going to equip the plating... Nah, I'm just going to equip the Thought Monitor here. Because it's what I want to do next turn anyways. And I'm at 35, I can just take a hit, so this is fine. This has been a really interesting game. Really back and forth. And I thought I was going to get punished when they had the Fury on turn 3. This game's still not over. They could draw Force of Vigor to kill, like, probably my 2 equipments. Alright, I'll go to 33. Alright, so land allows them to cast Borrower and Bone Crusher. Which it looks like they're doing. Anger of the Gods. Okay. It's a pretty good draw for them. Wait, are they dead? They dead to a land? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13 minus 7 is 6. Alright, so let's see what's on top of their deck. Fire, Ice. Okay, let's just do all of this stuff. Just use all my mana. I know they can tap this for a turn, but it's just going to happen anyways. Yep, so they attack for 8. They can tap a thing. We're going to upkeep tap it, which makes sense. It's tapped. All right, Ornithopter. Go Shadow Spear here to play around Bone Crusher Giant. And then plating here as well. All right, now we have a 10-3 Lifelink Trample Flying, which means they can only block it with Borrower, and that's not quite enough right now. So they need to draw another piece of interaction, or the Ornithopter is lethal. This game has been wild. Absolutely wild. What do they got? No attacks. Land, go. I think I'm just going to attack with the Ornithopter. Yeah, because I can't move the plating in combat. So I'm just going to attack with the Ornithopter. It's lethal. They have to have a spell, so. It's their spell. Subtlety. All right, so they don't have to double block. I guess they can just block with Subtlety and go to 1, right? Oh, I should have played my land first. If I had played my land first, I could have sacked Treasure Vault to add an extra artifact to the board, which meant that they would have had the double block. Yeah, I should have played my land first. I was trying to think if I wanted to give them less information, but I definitely should have played my land first. Because I could have actually sacked the Treasure Vault to make 2 treasures, which would have pumped the Ornithopter +1, meaning if they only block with Subtlety, it's 11 minus 3 is 8, so it forces a double block. Alright, they chose to double block anyways, so I guess it kind of worked out, but... Alright, so they go to 2. And then I just move everything on here. And just pass. Make them think about Rebuke or something, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Not that Rebuke does anything when they have 7 lands in play. Alright, so 13 minus 7 right now is 6. So this is still lethal. If they draw another Rhinos, it's 4, 8, 12, 15. So they survive. As is. What did they draw? Stop themselves. Cool. Alright, what an insane match. Absolutely crazy. I'm gonna have to do some editing with this one. This has been a long one. I'm not gonna subject you guys to all of it, but yeah, crazy match. There was several points in that game where I thought I couldn't win, and then points where I couldn't lose, and back to can't win. It's just like really back and forth. I'm happy that that was on camera. So 3-0. Hope you enjoyed the games. I'll see you back in just a little bit for round number 4. Alrighty, everybody, back here for round number 4. We are 3-0. Let's see what we got. Alright. Opponent looks like they're revealing a companion. 60 cards, my guess would be Luris, because Luris is everywhere. Pretty sure this person played a lot of Is It Prowess recently. Oh, Bosh. Okay, so maybe Mono Red Prowess. Is this hand good? You get to go Citadel, Drum, Jar. Turn 2, Saga, Frogmite. I mean, there's a good chance they have Blood Moon, but I think this hand's okay. Because we're on the play, we can get a token out of the Saga before they play Blood Moon. Ooh, that was a good draw. So let's go Saga, Frogmite, Sojourner's Companion. And then even if they have turn 3 Blood Moon, we can still get a guaranteed token out of Saga before they play the Blood Moon. Alright. Dragon's Rage Channeler, that's fine. They have no attacks. Thought Monitor, huh? Alright, so let's guess that first. See what we find. Because we can still activate Saga off of Citadel Vault. Drew a Vault. Springleaf Drum is mostly free to cast. The other Thought Monitor is not, because that means that I can't make a token off Saga, so I'm not going to play the other monitor. Am I willing to trade 4/4 for a Lightning Bolt? I think so. It's like a bolt that's not going at me, and I don't know. I just have a million things anyways. Yeah, I just don't really care about this. Just going to get the Shadow Spear next turn, and it's going to be nearly impossible for them to win. Yeah, that's fine. Just going to let it die. Sure. Going to let it die. Oh, I guess if they cast Blood Moon, I don't get the Shadow Spear, but I get a token, which I don't know that they can beat. Alright. Saga down. Still got a 9/9. Their deck just can't really beat a 9/9. Just face up, you know. Alright, Ornithopter. Make a blue. Play a monitor. Draw some cards. Play a drone. Oh, they're off it. Alright. Game number 2 against Mono Red Obosh. Very likely has a pile of Shattering Sprees. Shattering Spree plus Blood Moon is kind of tough to beat sometimes. I think... Oh. I'm trying to think of how I want to transform, like if I want to bring in Blast and Champion. Just try and play a bit of a longer game with like more expensive cards and more removal. It's really tough. I don't think Gingerbread is where I want to be. Again, I think Aether Spellbomb is generally pretty bad against the Prowess decks because just bouncing a 1-mana creature is not really that profitable. And I mean, a 4/4 is pretty good against them. Maybe I don't. Okay, let's try this. Let's try this plan on the draw. This might be a little loose, but I don't want to try something like this. Kind of Memnite. Because if they have Blood Moon and Shattering Spree, I feel like I need Edge Champion in order to push through. I'm just wondering if I also want Myr Enforcer. Now, let's try this. Let's try this. See how this goes. Galvanic Blast to buy us a lot of time, killing their early creatures, and Champion, which it's very, very hard for them to remove. Okay. Opponent kept 7. I think this hand's actually good. It looks weird, but I think it's good. Get to go turn 1 Spire, Ornithopter, blast their 1-drop. Turn 2... Yeah, so let's go Ornithopter, Spire, blast your 1-drop. And I'm not going to play the second Ornithopter, so they don't know that I have it. Alright, Swift Spear, attack, that's fine. No blocks. Etched Champion. Well, if they have Shattering Spree, I'm probably dead. But, because I just lose it all. If they go land Shattering Spree, I lose these 3, and I lose the Glimmer Void. So probably not beating a Shattering Spree. They're bolting now, which is kind of weird. Maybe they had Spree but not land 3? Okay, that's fine. I can live with that. Land, please? Land would be so good here. Not a Saga, though. Second plating. So now I think I'm just going to go blast this and equip Slam for 2. Just take the pressure off a little bit. Pyrite Spellbomb. That does kill Etch Champion. Okay. Alright, let's play another plating. Bone Crusher Giant is fine. There's a Saga is not fine. Alright, Frog might go. We need to somehow get to a point where we can start playing Sojourner's Companions. Alright, they're going to Spellbomb that, which is decent for me. Because that means that maybe this champion can go unchecked if I find a land. Okay, that helps. Step 1, they're at 17, and we have 4 artifacts. They have another Spellbomb. No, Obosh. Obosh is fine. So right now it's 10 damage. Okay. So... I mean, I'm just dead if they have a burn spell, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't quite play Sojourner's Companion. Oh, that's not true. I can just play Companion. And then pass my 2 blockers. Champion blocks Bone Crusher. Or Companion blocks Bone Crusher, Champion blocks Obosh. And then... yeah, that does maybe let me survive. But if I play Plating, and they have nothing... like, I'm just dead to any burn spell. I guess I'm only dead to Bolt, right? They have, like, Firebolt that doesn't kill me because it's 6 plus 4 is 10, which would put me to 2. This is close. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because what I could do is just play Plating, equip Plating, pass, plan on blocking here, taking 6, going to 6, and then if they have Bolt, I die. But if they don't have Bolt, then I have lethal with the other Plating the next turn. This is a really tough spot. Or I could play Companion, Companion block here, Champion block here. Kind of just, you know. But then they Bolt this, attack with both. Yeah, I'm still kind of in a bad spot if they have Bolt. Alright, I'm just going to do this. I think no matter what, I'm in a bad spot if they have Bolt. So, I'm just going to hope they don't have it. Oh, okay. Well. Yeah, probably wouldn't have been able to beat that anyways. Yeah, this is lethal. Alright, game 3. 2 Pyrite Spellbombs, huh? Well, if they're bringing in Pyrite Spellbomb, maybe Etch Champion is not actually good. Because I can just bring in a 4/4 and kind of sort of blank their Pyrite Spellbomb a little bit, to an extent, you know. Make it, like, less of a mana investment. When I'm paying 3 mana for a champion, trading it for a 1 mana card. I mean, that being said, it's, like, impossible for them to beat without Pyrite Spellbomb. I don't know, I'm going to keep it on the play. It's just too high upside. Just like Spellbomb or bust, and sometimes they have to Spellbomb other things. They might not always be able to save it for the champion. I think this is good. It's possible I don't need all the blasts in the play. Just be a little bit more aggressive. Just like have more 4/4s, but... I'm going to do 3 and 1. Just have an extra threat. Just like the 4/4 body is so good if they have Pyrite Spellbomb. It's just so hard for the deck to kill a 4/4. Alright, I convinced myself to do 2 and 2. Oh, ran out of time. I think we did 3 and 1. Alright, play first. Have an Obosh. Is it Obosh or Obosh? I always say Obosh, but... Heard people say different things, so I'm not convinced that I'm saying it correctly. All right, Vault, Saga. Yeah, this hand plays. Again, this is one of those spots where we're going to get a thing out of Saga before they play a Blood Moon. So let's go Vault, Drum, Jar, Memnite, Bauble, Frogmite. Bauble you, pass. They have Blood Moon on top. Oh, this might have been a spot where I should have played Saga on turn 1. Yeah, I should have definitely played Saga on turn 1. 100%. I don't know why I didn't do that. It's kind of bad. I'm going to leave back. Yeah. It took 9. Okay. Down. Yeah, because... So normally there are spots where you don't want to play Urza Saga on turn 1 if you're worried about them killing your only creature with, like, say, a Springleaf Drum. But we had 2 creatures, and it was not possible for them to kill both with what... I guess they could have Fury. And sometimes these decks do play Fury, so maybe it was actually reasonable to not play the Saga on 1 because of Fury. It's kind of close. But because if they don't have exactly Fury, I can just go Saga on 1, Springleaf, play 2 creatures, turn 2, second land, and then guaranteed be able to make a token off Saga, even if they, you know what I'm saying? Even if they kill one of my creatures, I'll still have a drum and 1 creature left over to make a Saga token. I don't think it's going to matter too much, but we'll see. Red. Firebolt. Light up the stage. Okay. They're on 10. So this is 6 artifacts. So I can go... Well, I can't make... Huh. It's a little awkward, because I can't make a Saga token and equip Plating to Ornithopter, right? Yeah, I'm a mana short. So I guess we just attack with Frogmite, and if they want to trade for the Frogmite, they have to sack a land to Lava Dart and then just make a Saga token. But if they sack a land to Lava Dart, they're not casting Blood Moon, and if they don't cast Blood Moon, I don't know that they can win. So I think they have to chump block? Not sure. Yeah. And now even if they have Shattering Spree, we have Jar to protect the plating, so I think this should be good. That's probably not going to do it. Alright. So... Are they just dead on board? Equip the Ornithopter. They chump block here, it's... Equip the Ornithopter. They chump block the Construct and go to 1. Okay. Not quite lethal, but, I mean, they don't really have any outs, I don't think. Oh, Shatterstorm. I guess they could have Shatterstorm. No, because they're an Obosh deck. They can't have Shatterstorm. Never mind. Never mind. Lava Dart, me. Okay. Alright. Light up the stage. What say you? Alrighty, the stage says they are dead. 4-0. It's been a while since I've gotten a trophy in general and on the channel, so let's go ahead and play a trophy match. I think in general this matchup is pretty favorable when you're on the play. Like, as you saw, I even messed up pretty badly, and I should have played Saga on 1, and this game would not have even been remotely close. The game still wasn't close, but yeah, this matchup is very good when you're on the play, because you just get under their Blood Moons with Sagas, and it's really hard for them to beat one construct, because their removal's all damage-based, so... in any case, we're 4-0. I'll see you in just a little bit for round number 5. Alrighty, YouTube, it's time. We're 4-0. Let's see if we can get the trophy. 60 cards, and it looks like they have a companion. It's Luris. Game 1 against Lurrus decks, I'll keep almost any hand with the Urza Saga. This hand's not great. It's not, ideal or anything, but Urza Saga is just so good against them game 1. Unless they're playing Hammer Time. This hand's pretty bad against Hammer Time, I will say that. I think the Hammer Time matchup is just really bad in general. Like, we're just the worst version of Hammer Time for the most part. So hopefully they're playing Rakdos. Hammer Time has been very popular lately, though, so... yeah, it looks like they're Hammer Time. Unfortunate. Yeah, we're just like a worse Hammer Time deck. Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily say worse because we're less all in than them, but, in the heads up matchup, we're a lot worse. Because we're just slower. Slower and much less powerful. I guess that's a good word, good way to put it. Probably gonna block the Mem Knight. Okay. I think the reason I want to block Mem Knight is if... okay, never mind. Well, maybe not now. Although, if I don't block now, they're just going to get Shadow Spear next turn, and it's still bad for me. Like, if I don't block now, I take 11, go to 9, and then they just get Shadow Spear, and I can't win. Ugh, God. This matchup is rough. I guess I kind of have to block now? I don't know. I just probably can't win this game. Yeah. Unfortunate. Yeah, this is definitely a reason to not play this deck, is this matchup. Again, I personally am not a huge fan of the Hammer Time deck. I know a lot of people love it, but it's just too all-in for my taste. That being said, what do? We have 2 artifacts. This is artifact number 3. Make a 4th here. Yeah, I mean, I just can't beat the Shadow Spear. Okay, we're gonna pack it in. Game 2, we got Galvanic Blast, Needle. I'm not a huge fan of Etch Champion because they have Mem Knights and stuff. Grid can be good. It's high upside, and in a matchup this bad, even though it's a slow card, there are matchups where this card can just win the game by itself. So I think it is worth bringing in. I'm going to cut the Brute, I'm going to keep the Spell Bomb, I'm going to keep the Shadow Spear. I'm going to cut Welding Jar because I don't really think much if any of their removal is destroy. It's mostly like Prismatic Ending and things like that. And then do the usual, shave a Mem Knight, shave an Enforcer, and I guess shave a Frogmite? Sure. Alright, let's go. Game number 2. Saga, Mem Knight, Plating. Yeah, this hand's really bad. Well, the first hand was bad, this hand is worse. So probably not looking good for that trophy. I guess. And just kind of hope their hand is like super all in. If I just put back, I have to keep at least the Ornithopter to turn on the Spire to be able to play the Blast. So what if I just put back these 2? I think that makes the most sense to me. And then just hope to draw a land and have Blast for their first 2, like, shove threats. Alright, there's the Saga. Drum. Yeah. Alright, I'm not going to kill Mem Knight. I'm not going to kill Sentinel end of turn because I can just kill it now. Well, kill it at some point now that I have the additional mana. And they just had Saga Drum both draws. On top of the fact that it's a bad matchup, their draw was also, just Saga Drum twice. Oh well. I don't know what you could do to shore this matchup up either. I think it's just like one of those things that fundamentally it's just a horrific matchup and there's just not a lot you can do. I'm going to take the damage. If they decide to play Stoneforge Mystic, I guess I'll kill the Stoneforge. They're not doing that. Alright, Welding Jar, probably not gonna cut it. Alright, we have our own Saga, but we also have less artifacts than them. We're the Affinity deck and we have less artifacts than them. That's hilarious. Hilarious. I can't even blast this if I wanted to. Ugh, God. Yeah, this matchup is rough. Again, I do think that we are a lot better against the Rakdos Delirium decks and the Izzet decks, because this deck is a lot more all-in than we are. But again, in the heads-up matchup, it's just rough. Do I even want to keep playing? I mean, they're just going to get Shadow Spear. Kind of don't want to keep playing. Got Needle. Okay, yeah. I mean, we're just dead anyways. All right, unfortunate. Yeah, bad matchup. But I had a lot of fun. I do think that this particular version of Affinity does have some legs. We got to work on some of the numbers a little bit. I think 12 might be too many. Obviously, you would play 4 Thought Monitor because it's just the best Affinity payoff. But I think maybe like 5 to 6 of total of these. Myr Enforcer / Sojourner's Companion is probably correct. Maybe get a couple more Nettle Cysts to have some more power. But everything else felt pretty good. The sideboard maybe needs a little bit of work. Maybe this is too many blasts, too many rebukes. But I like the concept. Treasure Vault did feel, at least in some spots, I felt like it made these a little bit more castable. So that is a good thing to learn. And if you made it all the way to the end of the video, make sure to like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one.